Hello, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of An Experiment Called Life with Alex Mackenzie. That is me. This episode, as always, is brought to you by Punchline Nutrition. Go check out Neuro Boost. It's a multivitamin for your brain. It helps with cognitive function. I take it every morning before I do my writing or any time that I'm going on stage. We also have pre-workout, creatine, a bunch of stuff to help you get jacked. So go over to Punchline Nutrition, check that stuff out. And don't forget about the Happy Camper Comedy Tour. That is, I'm on tour right now. This has been like the longest tour of my life. It started last April. We're now in January, and we just finished up doing the East Coast, but we're heading to Quebec and Ontario. So if you know anyone or you are in Quebec or Ontario, go check it out. AlexTellsJokes.com. Grab some tickets. You can use the coupon code ATJ to save 25% off any tickets or any supplements at Punchline Nutrition. So check that out. So this episode, I am talking about my journaling routine. So I started journaling back in 2020, and it was a very big pivotal addition to my daily routine. I think it's probably the thing that helped improve my life the most. That and like quitting drinking. You know, those two seem to go hand in hand. But journaling seems to be the one that really helped a lot. So I was going to take you over how I journal. So every morning, first thing I do is I write. So I set a timer for 15 minutes, and I always start with my regrets. So the first thing I write down every morning are any regrets I had from the previous day. I got that from a book by Daniel Pink called The Power of Regret. It's very good. It sounds very negative, but he basically says, if you tell me what you regret, I'll tell you what you value. So if you're having a hard time figuring out what you value in life or, you know, kind of what is important to you, regret is a very good indicator of that. So I've been writing that now for quite a while. And he talks about how like all of our regrets fall into one of four core categories. So there's like foundation regrets, which are these are like small little things that led you to a place you didn't want to be over a long period of time. So that would be things like eating too much food and now you're overweight and you're sick, or spending too much money and you don't have any money for your savings, or smoking cigarettes and now you get lung cancer. So these small things that lead to a big change that happened down later in life. Number two, and he says this one's huge, and it's boldness regrets. So these are a chance in your life where you had a chance to either play it safe or take a risk, and you chose to play it safe and now you regret it. So it's like you didn't take that trip, you didn't ask the crush out on a date, you didn't start that business idea. So those are very important ones. Number three was moral regrets. And he says it's very endearing. And I agree. Like it shows that people want to do the right thing. So it's like they were put in the position to do the right thing or the wrong thing. They did the wrong thing and now they regret it. So moral regrets are a big one. And yeah, I just think it does show. I really believe that people are good. I think that we are full of good and we get lost along the way. So moral regrets is one. And the last one is connection regrets. So that's where you had a connection, a relationship falls apart. He says usually over time it drifts away and you want to reach out, but you don't because you think it'll be awkward, and then eventually it becomes too late. And it doesn't just mean intimate relationships. It could be, you know, with your parents or with your friend or a sibling. And his advice for that is if you're thinking about reaching out, always reach out. Because he goes, flip it around. How would you feel if they reached out to you? And people are like, oh, it'd be amazing. I'd be so happy. And he's like, yeah, so extrapolate that information and flip it. So those are the things that I write down. And generally my regrets now are little things like, it's always like spending too much money or eating food or not getting enough sleep. Sometimes it's like not getting enough work done where I'm just being lazy and I'm like, I don't want to do that work right now. And eventually those things start piling up. But I like to start writing those regrets every morning, and then it gives me a good indicator moving forward for the day to be like, okay, what is it that you want to do? And then as I go throughout my day, be like, okay, is this going to be a regret tomorrow if I eat this chocolate bar? And you're like, yes. So you're like, don't eat the chocolate bar. I still eat the chocolate bar. It's very tough to do, but at least you're aware of it and you got some kind of direction to head in. Now after that, I write down gratitude. So then I write down minimum 3 things I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's more. These are usually things like hanging out with my friends, or a lot of the time lately it's been like grateful for all the people coming out to my shows and ticket sales. Like that is the only way, as we went over my last episode, that's the only way I make any money and can keep doing this thing and make a living. So everyone who buys a ticket, I'm so grateful for when they come out. And I think that just helps me perform better. Like when I really express that gratitude for the people who come to my shows, it's like, okay, these people have given you everything and you owe them everything. So when I go on stage, you're like, it's time to give them 100% of Alex Mackenzie when I'm up there, no matter if I'm tired or doesn't really matter. And then the gratitude thing also is just a good way because to wash away the regret thing so you don't feel too bad heading into the day, and then to put you in a real good chipper mood. There's a lot of studies on gratitude that it's like the key to happiness, they say. So I write down things I'm grateful for. And then after that, I make a list of to-do. So I just write down things that I need to get done this week is generally what I try to do. Like I try write on Monday a to-do list for the week, and then I prioritize them and write them in a notebook, and then every day pick a few things and cross them off. I found doing a weekly list is a lot better. I used to do it every day, but the daily list would get overwhelming. I would get anxiety. You're always like, oh man, I gotta get this done. I gotta do all of this today, and it just seems like a treadmill that's just going full speed, and you just can never catch up to it. Is where the weekly list, you really start thinking about, okay, what do I need to get done this week? So come Friday, if I got all this done, what would I be happy with? And then you write out that list, and it gives you a good idea how to prioritize things. And then I find too, if you're trying to think of a daily list, you're like, oh, I can't do that today, I can't do this today. But when you write it in a week, you're like, okay, by the end of the week, I can get this done. And it also is like a little work hack. Because one thing I really didn't like in my old job was that you were locked in no matter what. Like even if you got all your work done, you had to sit there at your desk for hours. And you're like, can I go home? I'm done all my work. They're like, absolutely not. And this is like a little reward. What I do with myself is I make my weekly list. And if by Friday, like I'm done it all or, close, I take the afternoon off. You're like, okay, do your morning writing routine, do that, head to the gym. And then I'm like, no work Friday afternoon. So I think it's like a good little motivator and a good way to like do the work-life balance thing with that. Also, I found that it is, I guess I can just go to the next part. Then the final part of my journaling is just rambling. So it's just word vomit till the timer goes off. So it's basically like, I'll just write down, I slept pretty good last night, but I didn't sleep that good. And, I ate too much food so that my stomach's a little upset. But today I'm feeling like it's going to be a good day, and I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to get this done. And then I did these jokes the other day, and they didn't really work. And you just write whatever comes to your mind. And it really just helps a bunch of word vomit, get everything out. And the trick with that I found, I think it's a way to like self-medicate ADD. So, I got diagnosed with ADD. I honestly think everyone has ADD. Because like when you go and take the test, they're like, do you ever like forget where you put your car keys? Do you ever walk into a room and you forget why you walked in? Do you have a hard time remembering things sometimes? You're like, everyone has that. I just feel like it's like a thing where, I think we all got it, but we all want to feel special, so we want something. But I found that journaling seems to be the best way to self-medicate. I got on meds for ADD. I took them for 3 days back in like 2018. I built a deck, which was crazy. I had this deck that I was putting off for like years of building because I knocked it down and then I needed to rebuild it and I just never did. And I took those ADD meds and I just flew through it. It was just like hammer, nail, hammer, nail, hammer, nail, hammer, nail, like a little Lego builder. So they worked. They were very productive. But I was like, I just don't really want to be on anything. I really think that for myself, I want that to be like a last ditch effort. If like I absolutely can't get this thing figured out and I'm really struggling, then I would use it. But yeah, I found that through journaling, it seems to be a really good way to deal with ADD. So I always picture my brain like a computer hard drive. And I don't know if you guys ever remember the old computers, you had to defrag the hard drive. And how it was explained to me is that like when you're saving things onto a hard drive, I think that all the new ones just do it every time you shut it off and it turns back on. Like your phone auto does it and your computer auto does it. But anytime you save something on a hard drive, it just like jams it wherever. It's just like, oh, enough space here, jam it in there. Enough space here, jam it in there. And then what ends up happening is your computer, then when you want to re-pull those files up or recall them, it has to go searching. Like, oh shit, where did I put that again? And that's why your computer slows down. And that's what I picture your brain is like. And then when you journal, it's like defragging it. So it's like taking all those things and putting them in a nice little order so that they're all right where they are. So then you feel like clear in your mind, and it's you got everything sorted where it should be. And then you can also fit more memory because you've actually got everything sorted, so it creates more space rather than having like random chunks full. And then you're like, oh, too big, can't fit in here, it can't fit anywhere. But if you like rearranged it, then you can get them in there, you know? So that is that's pretty much how I do my journaling. And then after that, I move on. So that's 15 minutes of journal writing. After that, I go into writing dumb jokes. So I keep anytime I think of something funny, I put it in my phone. And it's just a little note, and it'll just be like, what's one I had the other day? Oh yeah. So my mom wants me to get a girlfriend, but she doesn't want me talking to girls. So anytime I tell my mom, I'm like, oh, I'm going on a date tonight. She's like, oh my God, Alex, stay away. These girls are trouble. But then every time I start seeing a girl or something, she's like, ooh, you're going to marry this one? Like, be really nice, you know? And so she's really, she wants me to get a girlfriend, but doesn't want me talking to girls. So I think that's very funny. And then a good writing technique for any joke is you go like, what's weird, what's hard, what's stupid, what's scary about it. And then I'll do that. And I'll go, my mom wants me to get a girlfriend, but doesn't want me talking to girls, which is stupid, because that would be like wanting to get a dog, but your only plan to get one is hoping a stray just wanders into your house. So I'll do that. And I just try write a couple dumb jokes. Once I get like 2 to 5, depending how I'm feeling, I then move on to my stand-up writing. And my stand-up writing is more long form. And that's where I work on my act. So recently I was just rewriting my hour over and over. A lot of the time that's what I'll do is I'll just take like a chunk and I just start and I set a timer for 10-15 minutes and I just start writing it out. And as I'm writing it, I go, oh, look, there's actually a joke opportunity here that I don't have. And I use like analogy a lot of the time. So you can be like, this is like that. So what was a dumb joke I wrote the other day? Oh yeah, my last relationship was like a Trojan horse. I'm like, I was like, oh, look at this beautiful gift that's coming to my life. Then I quickly found out it was full of dudes. So then you just try and like jam those in and write that out. Now that I've filmed my special, the Happy Camper comedy special's all filmed. So now I'm going to start working on new stuff. And then I just take those premises and I try to drag them out and write them down. And then that whole routine is probably 45 minutes. So like 15 minutes of journaling, 15 minutes of joke writing, and then 15 minutes of stand-up writing. And it's the first thing I do every morning. And I find when I do that, I just, it's like going to the gym, but for your brain. So I do that, and then I do some business stuff, and then head to the gym. And by that point, it's like noon, and you're like, all right, doesn't matter what happens the rest of the day. I feel like I got my brain working right, and I got some stuff done, and I can be a happy little camper, you know? Anyway, that's my journaling routine. If you guys got any questions, feel free to fire them at me. And don't forget to go check out Punchline Nutrition. That's where you can get Neuro Boost. That's how I get all these good ideas and why I'm such a good little journaler is from Neuro Boost. And check out the Happy Camper Comedy Tour. So we've got, 12, 15 shows left on this thing. I'm very excited. Some of them are selling very well. Sudbury's almost sold out, which is dope. I've never been out there. Tough one for a Lispy guy, Sudbury. But yeah, it should be fun. So tell your friends, alextellsjokes.com. I love you guys. Take care.